If being financially free just simply a matter of spend less than we make, then everyone we know will be financially free and happy by now. But as you may have noticed, we are living in a completely different reality where most of the people we know are not happy with where they are financially, and being broke just somehow becomes a common conversation. Most of the people that I speak to, even though I'm talking about people who I think make more money than me and should feel financially secured, would tell me that they feel like what they're making is not enough to buy all the things that they want, or they wish they earn a bit more because they feel like they're not doing financially well. A couple of months ago, when I quit my corporate 9-to-5 stable job to become a small business owner, I took 30% pay cut, and actually, speaking of that, now it is more like a 40% pay cut, which I never in my wildest dream thought that I could afford. So in this video, I want to share everything that I have implemented in order to break free from this cycle of being broke all the time. Money truly is just a product of our mindset, and a lot of times we're trapped in this cycle of spending based on society's expectation. The society really puts a lot of pressure on us to achieve certain things at certain age and believe that having certain things are a measure of success. We are in a matrix and we don't even know it. Another thing that most of us are trapped in is the comparison trap, and with that we can easily distort our view about how we are doing financially, and as a result can make us feel broke. And we need to stop doing these two things, because these would drive us into thinking that the only way to be financially free is to work more and drive ourselves to extreme burnt out. Making more money doesn't really guarantee financial freedom. Financial freedom for me, I define it as an ability to design my own life and live on my terms. And with that being said, although there are people who are making much more money, but if they are still trapped in the society expectation or comparison trap or spending more money than they need, they can still easily be broke. And when I finally understood what drives us to spend money, and then I started to look at how I want to spend money differently, what we're being told again and again is to have a budget, which normally starts with how much we're making, and then with that we allocate money to different categories of spending. And I was doing that pretty well for years, but I still felt restricted, I still felt broke, and I still felt like I didn't do well. When I was studying to be a qualified accountant, there was this idea in the book that I came across, and that was zero-based budgeting. And I had decided that I wanted to implement that in my personal life. And this means that instead of relying on what I was spending previously, which most of the time would be spending on things, buying things that would meet the society expectation, every single month I started from zero, from blank canvas, and really evaluate what do I really need to be happy. Now at this point, I'm not even thinking about how much money I make, and please bear with me because it will make sense in a little bit, and this is exactly how you break the broke cycle. So it's not about extreme frugality and taking all the pleasure out of life, but it's about allowing yourself to spend money on the things that fulfill you, the things that will serve your purpose and will make you happy. And every time you add something onto the budget, always refer to the first point that we discussed. Am I budgeting for this item because it's something that the society expects me to have at this age, or am I planning to spend money on this item because it brings me fulfillment, it brings me happiness, and it serves my purpose? Don't follow anything blindlessly, hence why we started from blank canvas. And of course, there are going to be certain things that you can't really cut down, for example, your housing, your transport, your groceries. But if there's one tip that I can give you when it comes to these big threes, is try your best to make sure these are as small as possible. When these expenses are big, you will have less wiggle room to do anything else. Now, once you've done all that, there are two things that could possibly happen. And the first one is that your new budget after starting from scratch is actually less than how much you're earning. And this was kind of the case for me. If I took away the taxes that I paid in the UK, this budget would be less than how much I was making, because really I just don't need much on a day-to-day basis to be fulfilled. And with that, what it gave me was options, choices. Another thing that could happen after this exercise is that your budget is more than what you're currently earning. And of course, the first thing you can do is reviewing everything that you have budgeted for and trying to cut them down. But really, if you are sure that everything that you put on there are important for your well-being, then cutting them down further would make you feel even more restrictive, miserable. And my hope in making this entire video is for us not to feel like that. The only thing that you can do then is to increase how much money you make, and most of the time this will be educating yourself or obtaining new skills. I'm taking social media content creation in Canva class on Skillshare, which also happens to be the sponsor of the video today. And I am so glad it is Skillshare that is sponsoring the video today, because if there is something that I would personally spending money on, it would be on education and learning new skills. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives, with thousands of classes led by industry experts across illustration, design, productivity, marketing, entrepreneurship, and more. I recently started a course, Social Media Content Creation in Canva, and I already know that the class will massively help me in creating beautiful designs. And if you too want to level up your career, skills, hobbies, join Skillshare today. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. And it could most likely be that while you're earning the new skills, you are still working full-time on the job that is not paying enough. That means that you are going to feel uncomfortable, you are going to feel like there is a lot going on. But if you can escape that comfort zone, you're already halfway through to become successful and to achieve whatever you want to achieve, because growth really can only come when you feel discomfort. And in this budget, of course, this should go without saying that you should also pay yourself for your future. You should be putting money completely away in different account for saving or for investing in assets that will appreciate in value over time. And it is so important for that money to be taken away out to different account completely, because why do you think payroll taxes get taken away even before you get paid? Because when you don't see the money, you can't touch it, you can't spend it. Now, I am not in any way qualified to give anyone financial advice, but I can tell you later on in this video what I have been doing and planning to do. If you've been here before, you may have already know that me and my husband, we decided to move to the US, and the main reason was to build wealth. We truly believe that this season is our season to create wealth and create something for ourselves. And we've been saving and investing for, I don't think it's been that long comparing to other people, but here are the things that we have invested in and plan on investing. The only way to build true wealth is in assets that will appreciate in value over time. And with that, most of the people will opt for investing in a stock market, and that's something that we have been doing as well. And after we did that for a year or two, we were looking at another type of asset. Now, if you've been on internet for a while, there are trends of people investing in properties, becoming landlords, and that's something that we sort of dabbed into. When we hit our first 100K saving, we put that as a deposit for a house. I mean, it was a house that we were living in, you know, it was a house that you have seen in my previous videos. But now, as we have moved from London to the US, that house is now being rented out and is now classed as an investment. The mortgage on that house is right around $1,800, and we rent it out for $2,800, so that is $1,000 net positive. And although investment property has been really good for us, but what I have found myself is that the return on properties can be pretty low. As you can see, having one property gives me $1,000 net income every single month, and that's before real estate agency fee. So in order for you to make substantial income from properties, you have to have multiple properties, and in this day and age, those don't come cheap. Hence why we decided to explore different investing options in different sort of assets. And this is when I came across investing in small businesses. I bought an already existing and established and profit-making business here in the US, and the good thing is the cost was much cheaper than buying a house in London, and the business starts making from day one as soon as I took over the business, and it gives me more cash flow than the one that I got from the property in London. And sure, it's not passive. If you're looking for a passive income, property with agency managing your property, that is probably more passive source of income. Businesses is not very passive, but it gives a greater cash flow, and it has been working for me and for us really, really well. Some of you have asked me about this process, so I have made a quick free guide on how I bought the business. So if that's something that you're interested in, then you can check that out. But again, this is something that I have been doing. Every one of us will have different options and opinions. Budgeting, money management is very personal, so you need to do what works for you, even though it doesn't work for anyone else. And again, all of these wouldn't happen had I decided not to only spend money on what truly mattered to me, to our family, and to pay ourselves first by paying for our education, paying for knowledge, paying for skills, and paying for future investments. And I encourage you to do the same, because the result can be life-changing, and you can break free from the cycle of feeling restrictive and feel like you never have enough. I hope you found this video helpful. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.